Hey, what's up, everyone? Long time no talk. Sorry for the bad lighting. It's the best I can do in my room. So let me give you an update. What's going on with me regarding my health journey, regarding everything. I mean, a lot of you guys have been following these videos since I posted. Oh my gosh, it's been like I want to say around 5 years since I posted my first video, specifically about my Lyme disease diagnosis, or all that, and it's progressed a lot over the years, and I've done a ton, and I've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars. So you can see it is right now. It's Saturday, 1:51 a.m. and yeah. So I'm trying to figure out where I left off before. Um, so just to give you an update, I continually am getting worse. No improvement whatsoever. Digestive health is my gut kind of ebbs and flows. I would say every couple months, kind of swings back and forth. It's never good, but it's not consistently as bad as it always is. My other symptoms, though, are consistently, there are no ebbs and flows, meaning fatigue so everything I'm about to list has just been getting worse. Basically every month I've just noticed I've been getting worse over almost 6 years now. Every month I've just been getting worse in all of these things. So ability to focus, the whole kind of thinking, ability to focus, remembering words, remembering names, losing track of what I'm talking about, forgetting why I walked into a room. So that whole sphere of just mental intelligence and mental acuity, that's been getting significantly worse. Let me just go down the list right now. Body pain has gotten a ton worse. So even over the last month, it used to just be kind of my neck and my left shoulder. It used to kind of bother me here and there. So it went from kind of like a little bit of an annoyance to now it's 24/7 neck, my entire arm, my knees. It's hard to even walk now. Squatting down, I mean, it used to be very physically active. That's pretty much becoming impossible. Everything's cracking and hurting and just pain everywhere and sharp pains and shooting pains. So it's just this whole over joint deterioration that's been happening very, very slowly and very progressively, as opposed to people that say wake up one day and all of a sudden they have, all of their joints are swollen just out of nowhere. I hear that sometimes when people talk about getting sick. So fatigue, physical fatigue, muscle endurance, endurance in general, get out of breath very easily, just not strong. This coincides with all the joint pain that I've been experiencing. So it's sort of like I'm no longer, I'm not, I've been losing strength, I've been losing stamina, I've been losing just overall vitality and energy over the last 6 years. And then in the addition, now it's the actual pain, which used to be very separate. Now they're kind of all kind of blended into, I feel just like you feel really horrible. Vision is one of my most annoying ones. I kind of put that into the category of my brain, but maybe they're separate. So, and I've done just an insane amount of tests and therapies for all of these symptoms. So, I just saw an ophthalmologist, and my vision, he's like, your eye health is the best I've ever seen. He said the best I've seen today, and this guy's very busy. He's like, your eyes are great. And I'm like, well, I can't see. It's like I can't, my brain isn't working. I can't focus. I feel like I'm cross-eyed all the time. My reaction time is bad. That kind of goes into the neurological. So I'll drop things. I've been losing my balance a ton. I'll just literally have to catch myself. I mean, I used to be like an elite athlete. So all of this is just, I mean, it's surreal, to be honest. Okay, energy, brain, fatigue, body. Yeah, and I guess going with that would just be just totally disconnected from reality, totally disconnected from myself and my body. And many of you know I used to be a full-time yoga teacher. So this whole brain, body, breath connection was literally what I taught and did all day, and I had this incredible relationship with myself and with my prana and my chi, and I felt so connected to the world around me, and I felt so in tune with my own heart and this sounds kind of like hippie stuff, but oh well, really connected to my heart and this connection between my brain and my body and my heart, and I could, understand what was going on, and my intuition was really high. That has gone down. It's basically gone to zero. I mean, I just do not have any intuition anymore. It's like I'm just totally disconnected. I'm totally checked out. I used to meditate 30 minutes a day, and my whole day used to be like a big meditation. Now, I can't even try to meditate. There's no point. I can't even, like, if I close my eyes, I'm just gonna start to fall asleep. I don't have the energy it takes to even have like a quote spiritual practice anymore. Which that could be another video is how this physical and mental decline has affected, or how I feel about it regarding spirituality. Yeah, it's funny, like when all this goes on, when all this happens, your identity needs to change. Man, my brain goes on tangents. Yeah, because unless my identity has changed, there's just suffering, and that's just normal. Like, and I suffer all day. I'm suffering every single day. I mean, from a identity perspective, I can no longer do like any of the things I used to do, from communication, to be reliable, to make plans with people, to have friends, to date, to to have sex, even like zero sex. Like when I mean like zero sex drive, I mean it's getting to that point where it's not to go into detail, but it's pretty much gone. And I'm like a 31-year-old man, and it's just a polar opposite. Like I'm living in a polar opposite world, which I know a lot of you guys. Sorry, my neck hurts. A lot of you guys understand a little, what that means. And I know it's kind of specific to you. It's not kind of universal. Nothing means this. Like if I say something, it's going to be different. But I know you guys understand, what it means or what it feels like to just live in a totally different body and a totally different mind. I mean, my thoughts are just going a million miles a second. And that used to never be the case. I used to have just peace and clarity and contentment and just felt amazing. I don't know how else to put it. I just felt really great, physically and mentally and emotionally. And I was optimistic about my life and my, not even looking into like optimism about my future and my life and self-confidence. And I think confidence has a lot of things can affect self-esteem and confidence. Everything I mentioned. So all of just the individual symptoms kind of by themselves. And then looking at things from a whole, where it's, not feeling like you're going anywhere in life and feeling like you're just getting worse all the time. I mean, that alone just robs and sucks, the confidence is right out of you. I'm trying not to go on too many tangents, but I guess talking to myself, it's really easy too, and especially it's 2 a.m. So, yeah. So I don't want to rehash everything I've said in all previous videos, but just seeing so many medical doctors, so many, everybody from Chinese medicine to chiropractors to physical therapists to, I've literally calculated, or like a conservative estimate is I've had well over 100, probably easily 150, not IV bags, but different days, probably over 200 different days that I've had an IV stuck into my arm, mostly for like nutritional stuff, supplementation. I'm not even counting blood tests. That's probably another 50 days, 75 days. Yeah. So what have I done since we've last chatted? So I did 2 months of Deuterium water, or Deuterium depleted water. Because if and some of you understand, like when you're at this level, when you've done, I mean, I've had most of the doctors I've seen, and these are very integrative, holistic, medical doctors. osteopaths, everything from naturopaths to, I don't know, chiropractors, to basically everybody, energy medicine people. I've had a lot of people just say, I can't help you anymore. I'm sorry. Like, I've exhausted, or like they've exhausted everything that they have in their arsenal and I'm not feeling any better. So, oh yeah, going back to deuterium. So, after you've experienced that for so many years, you're just looking for anything. You're just desperate. You're willing to try anything as long as you can afford it or have or can. So I tried the deuterium. Started December and January, just 2 months. Deuterium depleted water. It was expensive. I mean, this was like, it was about, not including the test, it was about $900 a month. So I did that for 2 months, didn't feel anything. Got my results back. And those of you know about deuterium, got my results back for DD Center. It's down in Los Angeles. I believe, I don't remember it off the top of my head, and I don't really feel like looking, but I was in the 140s. I think I was in the mid 140s. Well, you know what? Let me just check it out right now. They say that you want to be 130 or below. But let me just pull up I'm logging in right now. Not that anybody could tell because you don't see my screen. But let me just check in here. So didn't feel any different doing that. I was doing about 1.5 liters a day, so like 1 bottle a day of the 65 ppm water. Okay, let me just pull it up right here. And yeah, basically sticking to 1.5 liters, and I would say maybe another 1/2 to 3/4 liters of steam distilled water, which is lower deuterium than most water. Yeah, so my breath test, I'm only sharing this because a lot of you guys know about this. My breath test was 142.5. Saliva was 148.3. So, yeah, they have like an ATP production factor is 26.5. So the breath and saliva, the difference was like 3.9, which basically the doctor there was like, it's not the worst we've seen, but it's not optimal. I haven't continued. Maybe I will, and I would just do it in like a very limited amount, like maybe like 1/4 of a bottle a day, just to bring it to like, $200 a month, kind of like a supplementation. I don't really think this is what's the root cause of what's going on with me. So that was frustrating, but everything's frustrating. I don't really get my hopes up anymore at all. Let's see. So I did that. I was again restarting the PK protocol. I think that stands for Patricia Kane. It's like a fatty acid test and a lot of IVs and supplementations. The doctor I was seeing, it was covered under my insurance, but unfortunately my veins were not liking the IVs. So the first time I did it summer of 2017, so about 1.5 years ago. I did like 10 of them. Same exact stuff as this new place I was going to. So the same company was making the phosphatidylcholine and the sodium butyrate and all. It was exactly the same protocol, but I did it 1.5 years ago, and my veins held up fine. I started about 3 months ago, or 4 months ago or so, and the first time, after like the third time, every time I got that drip, not only did it hurt my veins, but then my vein would be raised. It looked like I had like a number 2 pencil in my forearm. Like that's how much my veins were inflamed, and they still are. And it's been like 4 months, and I can when I feel my forearm, you can't see it on the screen, but it's almost like you can roll. Like you can feel like the vein all the way down, and it's inflamed. It's raised. It's like So I've been on. I don't know why that's been going on, but I've been on kind of like vascular enzymes. This one called Vascuzyme, basically to help the basically break down some of that scar tissue in my vein. So unfortunately, I couldn't continue that, and that's what this doctor's kind of primary go-to protocol is for kind of cellular health. So that was actually a real bummer, because I was actually really excited that my insurance was covering it miraculously, and but I can't do it. So yeah, that sucked, and I guess it sucks present tense. So I did some prolozone and ozone injections in my cervical spine to see if it helps with the pain. That didn't do anything. So, and recently I began seeing another kind of chiropractor, just chiropractor by trade, but he's been, like a lot of people, kind of learning and intensely, and kind of create their own methodology and opinions on things. And again, my I don't get my hopes up at all, but he's very big on kind of, you can throw it into like woo-woo stuff, like energy therapy with different frequencies of lasers and doing this or that, and energy, and very big into EMF mitigation. And yeah, so at this point, and a lot of you guys know this, so I've repeated tests over the years. So I've done I've done so many of the tests, every year, every 2 years, I'll repeat. I'll go to the lab and I'll get, like, no joke, 15 to 20 vials every couple months. Like, it's a serious blood draw. And so really, I keep running into where there's nothing really crazy standing out. And this has been my experience basically since I started. So no test results show that there's really anything wrong, at least not extreme, And same goes for MRIs. So I've had a brain MRI, 2 cervical spine MRIs, a left shoulder MRI, a hip MRI, and then ultrasounds of shoulders, knees. So again, those all show, well, I should say those don't show anything crazy. They don't show that I have a slipped disc. They don't show that I have a bulging disc. They don't show that I have massive deterioration. They don't show that I pulled a muscle in my shoulder. I have symptoms of nerve damage very intensely. Yeah, but the tests don't show it, and the therapies don't help. So I've had injections in my spine, both steroids and not, and it doesn't do anything. So I'm sure people will comment, and it's fine if you do, being like, have you tried this? Have you tried that? I mean, and pretty much, yeah, like, I've tried it. And then if I haven't tried that exact thing, I'm pretty 100% sure I've tried something in the family or something very related to it that has the same effect, either same effect on the body, or same, I can't even think. You know what I'm trying to say? So have you tried this brand of silver? I'm like, no, but I've tried these other ones, right? So that kind of thing. Like, there's very little that I've left unturned in terms of like something really big to look at. So, yeah, people like, have you had any root canals? No, I don't have any root canals. Like, what are your metals like? They're fine. I mean, they're high. They're not. I don't even think anybody's are normal, especially if they get it provoked with the EDTA. So yeah, that was high. Maybe I could redo it. But I've done a lot of therapy for the metals, and the PK protocol, the phosphatidylcholine. Apparently when you get the cell health good, and you have enough fatty acids for the cell membrane and whatnot, then your body can actually just kind of get rid of some of these metals on their own. So that was kind of the methodology behind that, but unfortunately I can't continue. So that is something I do want to retest. But again, it's like, I've done so much treatment for, like, very, very intensive 3 to 5 month protocols, whether it's, chlorella and cilantro, or, there's just so much, guys. So anyway, I know I can blab on for a long time. Some of you have been asking, kind of, what's the update? This is the very late version of an update, and I'll try to upload this now. Yeah, so I'm probably forgetting things. I'm sure I am, but it's just, I don't know if I want to jump into the emotional aspect of all this, but just beat down, freaking frustrated. Like I'm in bed. I'm in bed for at least 12 hours a day. That wasn't the case a year ago. That wasn't even the case 6 months ago. So things have gotten really bad. And even after 12 hours, I'm not sleeping for 12 hours. I'm probably sleeping for like, I don't know. I mean, some nights it's really low. If symptoms flare and and some nights it's like a couple, not a lot, 3, 4. But other nights it's 10 or 9. And I wake up and I'm just like, it's just getting worse and worse. I just feel horrendous. And it doesn't really go away. So it's like the whole day I just sort of wake up. There is no snapping out of it. There's no, waking up. It's none of that. And it's to say it's challenging is kind of laughable. It's so much more than challenging. And those of you going through something similar can understand this, especially if it's been going on for years and you're getting worse and no one can help and you've tried everything basically available. To say it's frustrating, I mean, my vocabulary isn't good enough to really articulate it better than that, but it's so beyond, it's so, I mean, I don't even know what to say. It's just really beyond even just sort of frustrating. Yeah, maybe I'll do another video about kind of the emotional aspect of what's going on. I've made a couple of those in the past where I've done a fairly good job of articulating it. I mean, part of my problem now is I really can't do a good job of articulating because I'm just so tired. So my brain isn't finding the right words to, and it's like, it's hard to articulate how you're feeling when you're not in connection with how you're feeling. So, sorry. I mean, you can only share how you're feeling when you can feel how you're feeling, and a lot of what I'm living in is a body, and not only a body. Like I'm living in a universe where I really can't feel much anymore, if at all. I mean, I mean, that's me. Yeah, like just the fact that I'm like falling a lot, and I'm like losing my balance. I mean, like I used to do, hour and a half really physically challenging yoga classes with a whole bunch of crazy poses. And, I used to never fall. And I say that because I just want you to know like where I'm coming from. Like, the craziest of yoga flows where it's like balancing on one leg and on your hands and everything I used to live where it's just like so connected in my breathing and I would never, and it's like I was never a professional dancer, but it's as if I were in a lot of ways. That level of body awareness where it's like, a professional dancer doing yoga, they're not going to fall. And that's literally like, they're not going to lose their balance. They're not going to like, whoa, like, oh, I forgot where I was, or I lost connection with myself. And so I'm coming from a really kind of, high place. But a lot of who I was, I mean, I remember it, but I can't feel it anymore. It's really gone at this point. I mean, it's really like a distant memory. And that's really how it feels my life is. I mean, my life feels kind of like a distant memory. I'm not quite. Yeah, I mean, it feels like, oh yeah, like I can kind of remember what it was like, but it feels like I had a dream and that's who I was in the dream, not like, oh, I can actually feel what it felt like. No, like that experiential in the moment, that's not there. So anyway, I keep saying I'm going to go, and I end up ranting for another 2 minutes. All right, guys, that's it. I may make a emotional one, intellectual one later, but I'll end this tonight. All right, bye.